Welcome back, baseball fans. Welcome to another episode of the Vegas Vintage Nine Ball. Coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. Beautiful day out here in Las Vegas in the middle of October in 2025. And without further ado, let's get to the Vegas Nine Ball for the day. First card is father and son big leaguers, Ray Boone, third base, Detroit Tigers, and his son, Bob Boone, catcher, Philadelphia Phillies. And Bob Boone spent several seasons in the big leagues and then would go on to be a big league manager. And of course, Bob's sons played in the big leagues as well. Aaron Boone, who now manages the New York Yankees, and his son also was Brett Boone, who played a long time in the big leagues as a second baseman for the Reds and the Mariners. And the Boone family, several generations of big leaguers, and great baseball family, the Boones. On this card, in the 70s, father and son, Ray Boone and Bob Boone. Nice card there. Next card is Dusty Baker. Dusty We Trusty. Of course, he was the manager of the Giants for a long time, and then the Cubs as well. And most recently with the Astros when they won the World Series. And yeah, here he is, a member of the Braves. I believe he was on deck when Hank Aaron hit his 715th career home run, which broke Babe Ruth's all-time record of 714 home runs. And Dusty was on deck to witness that, and would later go on to have a great career as a big league manager. So, yeah, Dusty Baker and Dusty We Trusty. We'll put Dusty on a stand for his long career as a player and big league manager. Next card is Adbert Alzolay. This is his rookie card and a throwback to the designs of the 80s. And Adbert had a couple years as a closer for the Chicago Cubs. And then he had some arm problems and eventually was released. I believe he's now trying to make it back with the Mets as a reliever. But he had a couple of years, effective years, in the bullpen for the Cubs. And had several years, or had a couple years at least, with saves on the Cubs. So we'll put him on the stand, the Cubs stand, Adbert Alzolay. Next card is a Vinny Castilla, 1993 rookie. And Vinny Castilla was a member of those big boppers they had in Colorado in the 90s with Larry Walker and Andres Galarraga. And Vinny Castilla was the third baseman for those teams. And there's a nice in-action shot, waiting for a throw. And he had several years as a slugger in Colorado. Vinny Castilla, good player in the mid-90s for the Rockies. Next card is a 1971 Lee May. Here he is playing first base for the Reds. And looks a lot like the Reds teams of today with hardly anybody in the stands. But Lee May was a big-time slugger in the early 70s. Always near the top of the league in home runs. Let's look on the back of the card here. Looks like in 1970 he had 34 home runs and 94 RBIs. It says, representing 1/3 of the Reds' murderers' row, Lee hit 3 grand slammers in 1970. A 14-game hitting streak in 1970, the longest by a Red. Lee May, good hitter. This is a nice card of him holding on. Runner, looks like from the Phillies on first base there. So nice card, Lee May, and big-time slugger in the early 70s. Next card is Steve Stone, standing here in front of the bat rack with all the helmets with the Oriole on them. Steve Stone, of course, was a longtime broadcaster with the Cubs before moving on to the White Sox, where he is now as a color commentator. Worked with Harry Carey for several years. But before that, he actually was a Cy Young Award-winning pitcher for the Orioles. On the back of the card here. Yeah, it looks like in 1980 he was 25-7 with a 3.23 ERA for the Orioles, and he won the Cy Young Award that year. And just a few years after that, I believe in 1984, he was in the Cubs broadcast booth with Harry Carey and would stay there for a number of years as a color commentator for the Cubs. So learned a lot growing up watching Steve Stone's analysis of the game, and I'll respect him a lot for that. And we'll put him on the Cubs stand for his many years as a Cubs broadcaster. He also played for the Cubs for a little bit as a pitcher as well. Speaking of color commentators, here's Tom Wimpy Paciorek, who called games with Hawk Harrelson for the White Sox for many years. I always enjoyed listening to them call games. And yeah, Tom Paciorek. They call him Wimpy. And yeah, put him on the stand. Wimpy. Speaking of Wimpy, here's Mario Mendoza. And he is known for batting around 200, and that's why we know 200 average as the Mendoza line. Named after this guy, Mario Mendoza, who would always be hitting around 200 during his career. Remember in the 70s and 60s and 70s, and even into the 80s, a lot of the shortstop middle infielders were just primarily glove guys. There wasn't that much focus on their hitting, and Mario Mendoza, because of that, was able to stay in the league for several years. Let's look at his, if you look here, he was on the Pirates and now on the Mariners. And yeah, averages 221, 180, 185, 198, 218, and 198. Career average 201. So that's where we get the Mendoza line from Mario Mendoza. And yeah, light hitting middle infielder, Mario Mendoza. And our last card today, the Vegas 9, is Jeff Conine. He's a rookie prospect with the Royals. Of course, he would be taken in the expansion draft by the Florida Marlins. And yeah, he would become known as Mr. Marlin. And played several years as a first baseman and outfielder for the Marlins. And here he is early in his career as a rookie prospect for the Royals. Jeff Conine, Mr. Marlin. And that'll wrap up the Vegas 9 for today. We appreciate you watching. Hope to bring you back. Take care, and God bless.